Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Welcome back to Weekend Edition. Legislation has been introduced that would revert the Guam Education Board to a policy-making board rather than for operations. Although she's in agreement with the law, Senator Dr. Aline Yamashita says the board should fully dedicate its time to policy. Dr. Aline Yamashita is with us tonight to tell us more about this piece of legislation. Thank you so much for coming on. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Michelle, for inviting me.
First, Aline, maybe you could talk about the intent of this bill. I know you being an educator for many years, I know that with recent legislation or a law that was passed to create a governing board, why would you revert that back?
Because, Public Law 30-183 that was just signed into law this past summer reorganized the Board of Education. I thought it had many fine features, and I fully support what had been passed. But there was one line there that said the board will have supervision over the Department of Education, which means then that they were involved in the operations. But all the other parts of this law had it being a policy board. For example, they shall meet once a month. If you're operations board, there's no way you can meet only once a month. And even if you had special meetings, it just wouldn't work. And as you mentioned, I've been involved with the Department of Education for decades. Once I was deputy director, once I was associate superintendent of curriculum, and I know the countless decisions that need to be made on a daily basis. And it's hard for a superintendent to have to wait and go get consensus or approval of her board. It makes it inefficient. I suggest that the superintendent is fully responsible for the operations of the Department of Education, and as she is fully responsible, she should have full authority.
Would you keep the way it is right now as far as, part of the members being elected by, I guess, the constituents and those who are appointed by the governor? Would you keep that?
Yes, at this point I would. I think the hybrid model is going to work out. I know most of the community are very excited that Governor Calvo is identifying people to be a part of the board. And I think what that does is it allows for a balance of members. The people get to elect some, and then the governor can see what stakeholder groups would add to the whole picture, and then he can appoint accordingly. And actually, I think it's specified. One has to be a parent, one has to be a retired administrator, and like that. And so it really does balance it out. And then today he's also appointing 2 vacancies. Added to the 3 appointees. So that does give him the room to see, well, maybe we need more people of this experience, maybe we need someone who's already done this, maybe we need somebody totally fresh, totally different, right? And so I think he has been given the tools to compose what would best help our school system.
What do you think this board could do as far as policies? Of course, we've had policies on transparent bags. We've had a uniform policy. How do you think this new board will come together to create better policies?
What I would hope is that this board will embrace the idea that we're in the 21st century and embrace the idea that teaching and learning today needs to prepare our kids for the 21st century. We're a global community. I think technology needs to really be infused all over the place, which means then that our teachers need to be trained and given the adequate resources. And I suggest that our students can teach us how. Our kids know how to do this. I'm proud because I know how to text. I actually know how to use my cell phone. But beyond that, I don't get it, right? I do email and I do all of that, but I don't know a lot about the machinery. We need to get our kids ready and competitive for that, because that's the way our world works. So technology, long-distance learning, long-distance instruction, languages, I suggest that we need to revert to basically addressing the needs of the whole child. I think reading and writing and math is very, very important, but I think just as important is health and physical education. I would hope that this board would say our policy insists that the whole child is developed, and I think that's really, really important. So I think there's real basic issues that they can address, as well as some real far-reaching issues, and the technology is big there.
And who's supporting you with this bill? I know you have people who have signed on. Who in the legislature have supported you on this?
At this point, Senator Tom Adam has really honored and humbled me by being a co-sponsor. Senator Chris Duenas, Senator Sam Mabini, and Senator Montecillo Tyron have all signed on as co-sponsors. And many of them have assured me that in the committee, and hopefully we report it out of committee and then on the session floor, that we will have healthy discourse over this. And that's what I want.
Any last comments to the parents and
thank you.
media?
Thank you for being interested. Thank you for bringing us into our homes. And I think overall the reaction has been really positive. And so we move forward. There are many other things that we want to address and support with the learning opportunities for our kids through legislation. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thanks.